Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Jamaican reggae icon Coco is dead. Opposition calls for enhanced protection of critical telecoms infrastructure. And later in sports, Velocity Fest could be the first track meet on newly laid track at the National Stadium. Now the details. The Hagley Gap main road in St. Thomas was impassable this morning after a landslide. TVJ News understands that scores of students had to return home while motor vehicles were unable to pass.
About 6 o'clock this morning when I come up and open the shop, I hear a rumbling. So I come out and look and saw this come down, the landslide come down. So our vehicle have to turn back. And our school pick me have to turn back until these men come and do this thing here. So I did want to get some goods today and the far-fit bus driver have to turn back.
Several residents took matters into their hands and came together to clear the road.
We buy the picker and the shovel and we take out the rocks to when them gone bad already, can't come good again. The whole high school has them have to push out early this morning. Some have to turn back just to it come down and cause this black road, and you know we thank God still. All of us flock together and get it going through.
Tributes have been pouring in following the passing of reggae icon Coco. The legendary Jamaican reggae singer died early this morning at a hospital in Florida. He was 65 years old. More in this report.
Holy Mount Zion.
Calvin Coco Scott had been battling health issues for some time, including lymphoma, which he was diagnosed with in 2019, and pneumonia, which he had been fighting for the past 6 months. Coco's wife, Malvia Scott, confirmed his passing and shared that he had been hospitalized after experiencing vomiting. Despite his health challenges, Coco remained positive and resilient until the end, with his wife describing him as very brave.
Well, my husband has been healing for the past 6 years. He's been battling lymphoma. This morning he went into cardiac arrest and he passed at 4:46 a.m.
Come on and love me.
Coco's music career spanned decades with hits like Rikers Island, Young Lover, and Barack Obama. He was also a pioneer in the Jamaican music scene, initiating the annual New Year's Eve event, Dancehall Jam Jam, and supporting emerging talent like Coffee.
Rockin' Dolly.
Tributes have been pouring in for the reggae legend, with Jamaica's Minister of Culture, Gender and Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, expressing her deep sadness at his passing. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the singer's smooth vocals and compelling lyrics gave us timeless classics like Rocking Dolly and I Lost My Sonia, songs that have become anthems in our cultural landscape. Dr. Holness says beyond his musical genius, Coco was a beacon of kindness and generosity, consistently uplifting the less fortunate and embodying the warmth of our nation. His influence extended beyond our shores, touching hearts worldwide and solidifying Jamaica's place on the global musical stage. For his part, opposition leader Mark Golding says Jamaica has lost another musical legend. Mr. Golding says Coco's message of love and unity will live on forever, and that the country's musical history is richer for his unmistakable voice and reggae anthems.
Holy Mount Zion, I'm coming home to you.
To other news now. There's an urgent call for enhanced protection of Jamaica's vital telecommunications infrastructure. Opposition spokesman on science, technology and innovation, Dr. Andre Horton, says this is necessary following the recent theft and vandalism of telecoms equipment from Digicel and Flow. Karen Simpson reports.
It's not the first time telecommunication services have been disrupted after the fiber cables were vandalized. However, last week's interruption was the first of its kind. For hours, business customers island-wide were left without service. So too were home and mobile data customers. Opposition spokesman on science, technology, innovation and entrepreneurship Dr. Andre Houghton says this loss of productivity is damaging for the economy. It's why he is calling for a special task force for the telecommunications security.
This task force would be dedicated to ensuring that telecom providers implement stronger security measures to prevent vandalism and to improve emergency response to the infrastructure.
He is also calling for harsher penalties for cable theft.
When I spoke to one telecoms provider, they said that the penalty for stealing and vandalizing the equipment is about $1 million. And sometimes the people end up vandalizing or stealing over $30 million worth of equipment. So if you can steal 30 million and you only pay back 1 million, then there is nothing preventing you from doing it. 1 million or a year in prison, I heard. So we need stiffer penalties for these actions, and we have to take it serious.
And Dr. Houghton says the government needs to move forward in putting in measures to combat against cable theft. He pointed to the government's commitment to spend US $237 million on a national broadband network that has not been forthcoming.
There are many other countries who have been able to run their cables underground. I mean, there are always going to be excuses. For example, flooding is an excuse. If they put it underground and it gets wet and damaged, then it will disrupt the signal. There are a lot of excuses, but notice that the wires are run under sea from one country to the next. So if the wires are run under sea, it means the wires can be run underground without us worrying about flooding if the right mechanisms are in place.
In the meantime, Dr. Houghton says there must be greater accountability on the national broadband network. Kerry-Ann Simpson, TVJ News.
A surge in car thefts on the University of Technology campus has sparked widespread concern among students. Students are calling for heightened security measures. Amoy Harriet tells us more.
The walls of UTech pulsing with the bass. A packed venue with phones in the air and patrons singing along with dancehall artist Eddie G. Just meters away from the stage, though, in the adjacent parking lot, a different party was unfolding. Nothing could prepare Kahim Hyman, a student at the institution, for the unpleasant surprise that awaited him.
About 3 a.m. the party ended. I came back out and I noticed the vehicle wasn't where I left it. I was in disbelief. I even took out my key. I still have the key right now. I took out the key, pressed the button, I don't hear anything. And I heard another person call out that their car is missing, another person, their car is broken into.
And the security guard that Kahim saw sitting in the parking lot when he first arrived was now nowhere to be found.
I don't know if it's a case where they left early or why they even left early, but I know they weren't there.
Now, King Alarm is the contracted security provider for UTech. TVJ News was informed that over a dozen guards were on duty that night. UTech's Director of Safety and Security David Kelly says typically a police patrol team is present during campus events, but on this particular night, there were none.
That is what we are investigating because it is a requirement, and I think they did apply to get the necessary police permit to have the dance. That is a requirement before they can conduct any dance on the campus. However, sometimes, you can ask for a police and they didn't turn up.
TVJ News understands that another party was held on campus subsequent to this one, and there were no reported security breaches. Still, the students are calling for improvements to be made to the current structure.
I heard this from the control unit themselves. They're saying that it's been years, decades before they, since they've seen something like this, especially to this extent. So I guess, in a sense, the securities are kind of relaxed, knowing that, or assuming that nothing is going to really happen. So I think they should be on more alert.
Mr. Kelly is, however, assuring improvements are being made.
Of course, there's always room for improvement because that is with security. No matter the best of measures you implement, you put in, there's going to be always room for improvement. And that is what we are doing now. If where there are weaknesses, we try to highlight it and, sit down together because King Alarm is a very capable company.
As for the stolen cars, a police report has been filed and the vehicles placed on a watch list. But what's the probability that Kahim and his schoolmates' vehicles will be found?
It is always a gamble. You find cars stolen in Constance from Phonic in Westmoreland or there's place. Cars stolen in Mumbai trying to kill Center. So sometimes they take it at places and cut them up and then that's when the real problem comes in. But if it is possible to be found, we can and we may.
Now, this incident comes weeks after security concerns at the neighboring UE campus. Amoy Harriet, TVJ News.
The Browntown Health Center has been relocated to Huntley St. Anne. This move is expected to bring significant improvements to healthcare services in the area. Antonia Atkinson reports.
Residents of Browntown and surrounding areas can now access healthcare services at the newly relocated and renovated Browntown Health Center in Huntley, St. Anne. This temporary facility was established at a cost of 80 million Jamaican dollars. The relocation and renovation of the health center paves the way for the construction of an even larger and more modern health facility at the original site in Standfast, St. Anne.
I think that there's going to be a lot of excitement around what will happen over the next few months. All right, and his team will lead that charge. I will certainly be back at that time. We'll give more details on the permanent structure that is to be erected and commissioned. And hopefully that will lead to a happier public and staff because we have to care about our staff.
But that's not all. The new facility is going to be state-of-the-art with cutting-edge technology and modern amenities like diagnostic equipment, lab services, and even doctor's quarters. And with the implementation of an electronic health record system, patients' medical data will be easily accessible, making healthcare more efficient and effective.
Key to transforming any service, whether in health or anywhere else, is the people who manage it. So if we get electronic health records and nobody use the iPad to punch in the information, or indeed use the data which is going to be stored to analyze, to do things better and improve things, why do we need the iPad? Might as well write.
The ministry is also investing in other healthcare facilities in the parish, including a 66 million expansion and upgrade of the Bamboo Health Center.
If you're sick, we're going to look after you. Whether you're wearing orange or green or white or brown, if doctor have to see you, nobody is going to be left behind. And since it's going in the right direction, we might as well keep on the track and get it done. Oh, that's all. Well, you must say, boy, Minister, I think a political meeting is there.
Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. An elderly man in St. Anne is desperately seeking your help. He wants a place to live. Karen Simpson reports.
73-year-old Wilfred Bailey has been living in squalor for years in Windsor, St. Anne. Life for him has been a series of twists and turns. This is the one-bedroom shack Mr. Bailey has been living in since 1988.
I'm one of the abandoned child from a 14 raising, born in mother. I am here the month before Gilbert goes, sir. I come and start, cut down the place. It hacks some big tree all above us, sir.
So you're moving here now?
Yes, sir. Then. So then I get here, sir, and from that time I set up, I don't leave, sir.
Mr. Bailey says he does farming for a living. However, during the passage of Hurricane Barry last year, everything was destroyed, including what he called home.
Burial. Come and mash it up, sir, blow it up. I have nowhere to stay, sir. blow up the farm, sir. I have no food to eat, sir. I have nowhere to rest. I don't have a house, sir. I don't have a kitchen. I don't have a bathroom.
Where you sleep when night comes, Mr. Bailey?
Oh my God, sir, I would like you to wear about 3 or 4 feet of zinc, Father God still spare.
Since then, his neighbor has been seeking help for him.
Human being is human being, and human being cannot live like dog. So the reason why I reach out to you guys, to see the situation that he live in, it kind of pain my heart. And I'm a human being, so I try my best to give him assistance, and I told him I will never stop until he get his assistant. My dream and my hope is to help.
Anyone who wishes to help Mr. Bailey can contact 876-575-1773. Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
As Jamaica seeks to increase the contribution of renewable energy to 50% of its total energy supply, President and CEO of the JPS, Hugh Grant, is reminding the country that the ability to store the energy with batteries is important. In order to support this conclusion, he says many countries, including the USA and Germany, have experienced unreliable energy supplies because they increase the contribution of renewable energy to their power grids without providing for storage. Further afield, Delta Airlines has slashed its earnings forecast for the first quarter. The carrier, in a Monday filing, said it's due to expected low demand for domestic travel amid customers' growing worries about the economy. Delta now expects its quarterly revenue to rise by between 3 to 4% from a year ago. That's down from its earlier estimate of 7 to 9%. The company's stock tumbled roughly 13% in after-hours trading on Monday. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, Suriname's Minister of Foreign Affairs Albert Ramdin has been elected as the new Secretary General of the Organization of American States, OAS, for the 2025-2030 term. This is the first time a representative from a CARICOM member state has led the OAS. The Council for Foreign and Community Relations expressed confidence in Ramdin's ability to address regional challenges and promote peace and prosperity in the hemisphere. On the international scene, former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was taken into custody after the government received an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court, ICC, for crimes against humanity related to his controversial war on drugs. Duterte had just returned to Manila from Hong Kong, where he made a speech denouncing the ICC's investigation into his actions. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
We take another break. Sports is next.